All right, let's jump right into this explainer and unpack a hidden structural blueprint that is honestly going to completely reframe how you look at your daily grind and, well, your ultimate purpose. We're breaking down the truly groundbreaking concepts from James U. Etta's book, The Seven Churches Code. And look, this isn't just a bunch of abstract pie-in-the-sky theory. It's a literal, practical handbook for life. It promises incredible clarity and peace of mind by showing us that the universe actually operates on a highly structured administrative system. And more importantly, it shows exactly where you fit into the whole thing. So let me ask you this. Does your career ever just feel like random chaos? A lot of us actually suffer from what the author calls wandering hero syndrome, kind of like the ancient wanderer Jacob out in the wilderness, right? We just bounce from role to role, job to job, feeling this huge lack of overarching purpose. Deep down, we instinctively sense there's got to be a higher order, but we end up feeling totally stuck in the day-to-day chaos, just swapping professional masks and never really knowing where we fit in the grand architecture of existence. Finding a way out of that exact chaos is exactly why grasping this framework is an absolute game changer. Now, traditionally, we've looked at texts like the Book of Revelation as either, a collection of nice spiritual advice, or on the flip side, terrifying end times prophecy. But the Seven Churches Code completely flips that script. It suggests that the Bible, and specifically the seven churches mentioned in Revelation, is actually a highly precise, highly functional organizational chart for universal governance. It's not about some abstract style of worship. It's a literal, technical blueprint. To put that into perspective, just think about the ancient menorah. For literal centuries, people have viewed this as just a beautiful religious ornament or maybe a political seal. But based on Etta's research, this was drafted way back in 1445 BC as a literal seven-branch structural map of God's work. It's like a giant cosmic puzzle where the seven branches represent seven specialized departments or seven mansions that every single human life and career is drafted into. And this blueprint scales all the way up into what the book calls the divine Organigram. Think of it as a super rigorous four-level command structure. Up at level 1, you've got the Godhead setting universal law. Down to level 2, featuring the head angels acting as executive directors of these seven departments. Then level 3 has high-level subordinates executing the guidelines. And finally, at level 4, right at the foundational layer of this whole structure, are humans, you and me. The absolute beauty of mapping all this out is that it connects those level 2 celestial directors directly to our level 4 daily lives. You suddenly realize that your earthly profession is hardwired directly into a cosmic department. It gives your Tuesday morning tasks a profound sense of universal significance. What makes this genuinely practical, though, is seeing how perfectly our modern secular careers map directly onto these ancient celestial departments. You aren't just working a random 9 to 5. Your specific skills align perfectly with a divine branch. So let's dive into exactly what these functional departments do, and as we go through them, see if you can spot your own profession. Right out of the gate, we've got Ephesus and Smyrna. Are you an analyst, an auditor, or maybe a strategist who's constantly questioning if things are actually true? If you prioritize detecting deception and maintaining systems integrity, you are actively operating in the Ephesus Oversight branch. That's essentially the Auditor General of Heaven. On the flip side, what if you're a CEO, a manager, or a leader making those really tough executive calls? Well, then you're functioning in the Smyrna executive branch, which is basically the commander-in-chief department responsible for high-level decision-making. Moving right along, we hit Pergamos and Thyatira. If you enforce the law, if you police the streets, or maybe you sit as a judge, separating right from wrong, you operate in the Pergamos Judiciary branch. Conversely, if you're a builder, a farmer, a doctor, or you work in any sort of life support system nurturing human development and the environment, you're actively sustaining the Thyatira branch. This is the Department of Husbandry and Care. And trust me, discovering exactly which of these branches you belong to is absolutely crucial. It's the key to unlocking your ultimate professional and personal potential. Finally, we round out the whole structure with our last 3 departments. We have the watchful inspectors and regulators in Sardis serving as the system's early warning mechanism. Then there's Philadelphia, the sovereign record keepers and administrators managing the universal registry and headquarters. And last but not least, Laodicea. This is the education and information branch. It's packed with the teachers, the journalists, and the scientists who carry the incredibly heavy responsibility of distributing knowledge, uncovering objective truth, and educating the next generation. So what does this all mean for us? Well, it brings us to a concept that completely redefines the daily grind, the divine internship. The book makes the case that you are not merely working a secular job just to pay the bills. Not at all. You are a professional in training. Your secular career is actually a divine deployment leading up to a massive cosmic performance appraisal. Understanding this completely shifts the stakes of your daily work, right? It literally transforms your mundane, everyday tasks into crucial training exercises. But how do you actually pass this cosmic appraisal? The book calls this ultimate review the Black Horseman's Audit. It's essentially a rigorous cosmic performance review where your earthly integrity is weighed and measured. To pass, you have to adopt the exact ethical keys of your specific department, which are outlined in the divine work ethics. The importance of these ethical keys really cannot be overstated. They are the actual metrics by which you are judged. For instance, if you're a leader in that Smyrna branch we talked about, you have to follow the first and last code. That demands that while you hold the authority of being the first, you absolutely must actively serve and protect the most vulnerable as the last. Your success here is measured exclusively by what you protect, not by what you extract. This ties directly into what the book refers to as the ladder of life. This progression reveals your technical human development index. The ultimate goal of your career isn't just a bigger paycheck. It's climbing from step 1, which the book calls rye. Think of rye as an instinctual, unrefined starting point, kind of like a raw seed. From that raw state, you move through your professional internship, climbing up toward level 7 as an anointed king, and ultimately aiming for level 10 maturity as a perfected human or a celestial official. It's an evolutionary journey of both character and competence. And this entire system ultimately leads to what the author calls the convergence. While other world traditions, like the Greek, Egyptian, or Hindu pantheons, noticed fragmented archetypes of this massive divine machine, the author argues that only this specific biblical blueprint truly unites them. It takes all these fragmented ancient observations and brings them together into one complete 7-department administrative chart. And even better, it offers a final graduation. Instead of endless cycles of seeking and rebirth, you are handed a clear pathway to a permanent, highly structured administrative role in the cosmos. The compensation packages for passing this on-the-job appraisal are, quite frankly, massive. We're talking a crown of life, a pillar in the temple, and co-regency on the throne. And to be clear, this isn't about floating around on a cloud playing a harp. No way. It's about earning permanent celestial residency and your very own designated mansion or station of service in a functioning, universal government. Your earthly integrity directly dictates your eternal administrative rank. Which brings us to the ultimate question for you to answer today. Which branch of the divine organigram are you inside of right now? Do you organize or analyze? Do you warn or do you teach? To decode your exact calling, escape the chaos of the wandering hero, and secure your eternal promotion, grabbing a copy of the 7 Churches Code is for sure your next step. You can use the self-assessment diagnostic right inside the book to find your specific mansion. So, are you ready to stop being a mortal seeker and start training for your permanent seat on the executive throne?